Today's video will be a casual fun one, because I've had this idea in my head for a while and really wanted to share this thought with you guys. And of course, this list is going to be based on my personal opinion, and if you have any characters who you think would be perfect for Mortal Kombat in the future, then share it down in the comments below. So let's not waste any more time and get straight to the video. The first character on my list is Michael Myers from the Halloween series. It honestly still bugs me that he still isn't a crossover character yet. He's literally perfect for Mortal Kombat, as he'll not only make for great fatalities, but also funny interactions with characters, like Ghostface did in Mortal Kombat 1, and unlike Jason and Freddy in Mortal Kombat 9 and 10. Speaking of, a lot of you guys might say if he was in Mortal Kombat in the future, then he would just play like Jason Voorhees, but I don't think that's entirely true. You see, the way Michael kills his victims in comparison is that he sees it like art, like the way he killed Bob and Linda in the original Halloween film, so that would make for some really interesting fatalities. But what about his combat moves? Well, Michael isn't a stranger to fighting when necessary. We see him kill dozens of fighter fighters with no issue in Halloween Kills. So NetherRealm Studios could probably use that as a basis for Michael in the future. As for his gameplay, I'd say he'd play like Jason, but instead of being reliant on power, he instead would focus on precision. Michael has a way of killing his victims with surgical precision. He knows the human body so well that he knows where to hit his opponents with that kitchen knife of his. With Michael being this type of fighter, the players would really have to try their hardest to both strategize and master his moveset to perform various combos, which is why I and many others would think he'd be perfect for Mortal Kombat in the near future. Next on my list is Needles Kane, or Sweet Tooth from Twisted Metal. Now you might be confused about this pick because he mostly fights in his ice cream truck, also named the Sweet Tooth. But he has fought outside of his vehicle before, mainly in the Peacock TV show. He fought 3 armed officers all on his own with no issue. Speaking of, the Peacock TV show should be more than enough to help get Sweet Tooth in a future Mortal Kombat game. I mean, if the 2021 Suicide Squad movie was enough to get the Peacemaker in Mortal Kombat 1, then the Twisted Metal show should be more than enough to get at least Sweet Tooth in. I would also see Sweet Tooth as an exclusive crossover character like how Kratos was in Mortal Kombat 9, only he'd be better to control. For Sweet Tooth's combat, he would obviously have to use his abstract like a machete from Twisted Metal 2012. I would also see him shrug off normal punches and kicks from his opponents like he did against John Doe in the TV show. Mainly because he's a big dude and would fit his character, only feeling those attacks as little tickles. But he should also feel more versatile. Sweet Tooth has a lot more weapons up his sleeves than just his abstract looking machete. Shotguns and chainsaws and many more. We see him use them in Twisted Metal 2012. And if Aaron Black and Leatherface can use both those weapons, then so can Sweet Tooth. Not only that, but I would also see him use his truck for his fatalities to pull off some of the most explosive kills in the series. Even transforming into the Sweet Bodice fatality would be so sick. As for his gameplay, he would definitely be a heavy-hitting character, like Jax, Koro, and Kintaro, doing some serious damage to his opponents, but don't make him too overpowered and broken that makes him seem unfair and unbalanced to other players. With the right balance and right inspiration, I personally think Sweet Tooth would be absolutely brilliant to add in a future Mortal Kombat game. Twisted Metal is one of those PlayStation IPs that isn't really recognizable in the public eye the same way The Last of Us, God of War, and Uncharted is, so I hope NetherRealm Studios can take Sweet Tooth into consideration to finally put him back in the public spotlight, and hopefully we can get another Twisted Metal game out of this collab. Next on my list is the groovy man himself, Ash Williams from Evil Dead. Yeah, we're getting into some serious hero horror characters now, boys and girls. Outside of having funny interactions with characters, Ash would be a great character to have as a combo-based fighter, like how Rambo and Joker was in Mortal Kombat 11. I can literally picture the player using Ash to perform combo moves with both his handsaw and boomstick. As for his fatalities, Ash would use his boomstick to shoot and reload his opponents constantly to end them with a headshot to say, groovy. Or use his handsaw to charismatically slice and dice his opponents like how Johnny Cage charismatically punches and kicks his opponents. For his gameplay, he'd be more possible to fairly balance than the other characters that I mentioned on this list so far. His weapons would be enough to deal damage, but also require more skill to master his combos like Scorpion, Sub-Zero, Liu Kang, or Ghostface in Mortal Kombat 1. And if you really think about it deeply, we've never seen a slasher hero enter in Mortal Kombat before, ever. And I think Ash Williams would be perfect to represent slasher heroes in a future Mortal Kombat game. I guess it may only take time for them to actually do so. So hopefully Ash Williams can enter in representing slasher heroes in Mortal Kombat. Next on my list is Rick Taylor from Splatterhouse. Now before you say that sounds out of left field, we have characters like Omni-Man and Robocop in Mortal Kombat 11 and 1, which are non-horror characters that still made it in. So why would this be the line where we should draw? Anyways, Rick Taylor is a highly underrated character that deserves more recognition for his determination and tenacity. Not to mention, he's another great character to have as a heavy-hitting character in the roster. For his combat, he'd definitely be brawling with his fists for combos, while also using various weapons to deal some huge chunks of damage, like butcher knives, shotguns, and even man-made crafted weapons. As for his fatalities, Rick would transform into his berserk form to slice and dice his opponent's limb from limb, which would be seriously sick and would make for some great gory fatalities. For gameplay, Rick's melee attacks should definitely feel easy to execute like Liu Kang and Johnny Cage, while his weapon area attacks should feel more trickier but more rewarding to perform and execute, like Joker and Ghostface. Oh, and side note, I just hilariously imagine the Terramask's voice nagging Rick while he's fighting others for some funny commentary on Rick's side. Splatterhouse is another franchise that deserves more representation, and what better game to give it that spotlight again than Mortal Kombat. And hey, maybe Rick can make it into Mortal Kombat the same way Banjo-Kazooie made it to Smash Bros. Despite not having a new game since 2008. So hopefully with enough faith, Rick Taylor could possibly make it as a guest character in a future Mortal Kombat game. Last but not least is one you might have expected to see coming because this dude's more recent in the public eye, Art the Clown from the Terrifier series. Now you as well as I both know we want Art in Mortal Kombat because he'd make for some of the most nastiest fatalities in Mortal Kombat history. He would also be the one character to use all of his deadly weapons for all sorts of unique sort of combos, and not to mention X-rays. For his gameplay, he'd be a set play fighting character, using both his weapons and traps to get the upper advantage over his opponents, like Reptile for example. That and the fact that he's a very popular horror IP nowadays, which can boost both the Terrifier series and Mortal Kombat series to new heights in terms of sales and relevancy, which is the main reason I and many others think Art the Clown would be the perfect candidate to add as a guest character in a future Mortal Kombat game. It's almost too perfect. It would be a huge missed opportunity to not have Art in the Mortal Kombat series. It's like a match made in heaven. Like something that's just waiting to happen but hasn't happened yet. Like Michael Myers for example. NetherRealm, please add both of these characters to Mortal Kombat. They're too perfect and it's still a huge opportunity to miss. And we're done for now. I have some more characters I both want to talk about and why they'd be perfect for Mortal Kombat, but that'll be for a part 2 next time for now. Thank you so much for watching and hearing me out on this fun topic. If you have any third-party characters you'd personally like to see as a future guest character in Mortal Kombat, share in the comments below. And please don't forget to vote for me for the Face of Halloween competition, as we're currently 11th place at the time of this recording this very video. Be sure to follow me on Instagram, be sure to follow me on Twitter, or join my Discord server that's linked in the description below. And as always, I will see you next time. Thanks for watching. Peace out.